Okay. Can you hear me okay? Person unfortunately has a family situation going on and she's not here. So you're very dependent on Bob and Georgia and I and Joan to manage the technology. So please forgive us. We'll do our very best not to mess up things as we go along. But welcome. Absolutely thrilled to see you all. I can't believe how different we all look with our long hair and our our relaxed look as we work from home. I would like to acknowledge the challenges that George Brown is having right now. And for those of you who don't know it, George Brown has been under attack by a virus. And so they are having many challenges. So our challenges are small compared to what's going on there. And I'm really, really thrilled that the senior management team with Anne has been willing to join us today, because I know they've got a lot of other important things going on, but I do understand that we're also important to them. And so we're thrilled that you're here. So on that note, I think we'll begin. And I think Joan would like to make a couple of remarks.
Those who are newly retired and that were able to join us today, I think there were around 20 retirees, and some of them have been able to join us for this meeting today. So welcome to Rose Jansen, to Gunta Sturis, to Tetsuro Seto. Tetsuro, you were so valuable to me when I was at George Brown College. It's lovely to see you. Andrew McNamara, Heather Urquhart, Chio Abuchi, and Marie Madale Payne, and of course, Ann Sato. These are our retirees this year who are with us today. Great to have you.
And Monica.
And Monica, I beg your pardon. I don't have Monica on my list, so welcome, Monica.
And Lori Cranston also. So a couple of people that retired at Christmas time didn't make our list. So welcome to those as well. Thank you, Joan. It's my pleasure to introduce to you someone who is also joining the retiree list, but is very well known to us. And that's Ann Sato, of course, who's the president of George Brown College for at least a little while yet. And just to give you a little bit of a background in terms of us, Anne was the person that Bob went to with an idea about 7 or 8 years ago and said, how about starting a George Brown Retiree Association? And from that moment on, Anne has always been an incredible support for us. She's provided funding for us and seed funding right from the start, and that's important. But more importantly, she's always been there for us. We've met with her every year, sometimes twice a year, with information. She's provided guidance and support and suggestions, and really has been a constant support along the way. So we're delighted to have you here. And Anne, I'll turn the floor over to you.
Thanks very much, Denise, and thank you for inviting me to join today's event. Congratulations. I think there was 10 names that you mentioned that are either retired in the last year or retiring now. So congratulations to everyone. And I can't believe I'm one of them. Where does time go? It somehow just goes by so quickly. But that's okay. It's all good, because I remember, Bob Cox, you and I have seen each other several times since you retired, and I always commented to you that somehow you always looked more younger and more relaxed than whenever we used to meet on other things. So that's all a good thing. Diane, thanks for acknowledging the Retirees Association. I think that it's wonderful that it exists, and it's thanks to the initiative and the dedication of a number of people. And I think it was Bob Cox and Bob Struthers. It was the two of you who came to my office when you came to talk to me, or was it just you, Bob? I remember a meeting with both of you at one point in time, but because our systems are down, I always refresh my memory by looking into old notes, and I can't do that now because our systems are down. So, but am I remembering that correctly, or was it just you, Bob Cox?
I think you and I had a meeting early on, and then later Bob Struthers.
Yeah. Anyway, it was when you came with the idea, I think it was a very easy one for me to support. And I've just been really pleased to see how active the group is. When I've always received your newsletters, and I always enjoy reading them, and I'm always impressed at the activities and just how active everyone is staying rather. And I just also want to thank and acknowledge the people who have taken on leadership roles, and currently I guess Diane and Georgia are co-chairs. And it's just wonderful that you're willing to do that and keep this community and so many people who have been at the college for so long connected. I guess, so it's 17 and a half years for me. I know it's a lot longer for some of you who are retired or have retired. But it's amazing to me what we've done together, because I look at everything that we have done, and I always think about it as things that no one person does anything, but it's together that people can really make things happen. And you know, there's been lots of successes. There's been some challenges. We're going through one now. I mean, I think on top of the 15 or 16-month-long pandemic, a cyber attack is not something that I was hoping to have to deal with, so that never a dull moment, as they say, but also an unbelievable amount of change. And just what all of us have lived through most recently is amazing. But at the college, we've more than doubled in size. We've had lots of new locations. We've had lots of new capabilities introduced. We've celebrated many firsts. We've celebrated many successes for students and staff, domestically and internationally. But again, over and over, every time I think of George Brown, I think of the community, and that shines through over and over. And just again, looking at this screen, that's reinforced. And we always described ourselves as being woven into the social, cultural, and economic fabric of the city of Toronto. And I just really fundamentally know that that is so true. I know I'm going to miss the college terribly, probably more than I realize. But I am ready to explore new things. And Bob Cox, again, I always think of you. Now, Lorraine is calling me. Is she supposed to be in this meeting?
Yes.
Okay, so I can't answer her on Zoom right now, but Luigi, can you text her and say we're in the middle of this Zoom meeting? You're on, yeah. So anyway, if someone could text Lorraine, or
I don't have her text, Ann. I apologize. I don't have her phone number.
Okay. Well, here, can I give it to you?
I'll try calling.
You know what, Anne, I can just send her a Teams note to say that we're in this. I'll just send her a note through Teams to let her know.
Maybe give her the Zoom link then.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Will do.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's.
I might have her spell.
Otherwise, I'd have to stop and get my phone and text her, and it's just not a good time to do that. But anyway, where was I? Yeah, so I know I'll miss the college terribly, but I'm also really excited to explore new things. I was going to say, Bob Cox, you're always sort of, when you came in to see me in your relaxed younger mode, you would tell me that you're taking French classes and you're taking music lessons and you're traveling this and doing that. So I realized for how many years I've said no to things, like either that family suggests or friends suggest, and I'm sure you've all experienced this, or my volunteer activities. So I've got no regrets about saying those no's, but I'm looking forward to being able to say yes to some of those things, or just to pursue other of them. And I always remember, actually, my husband, Ed, often told me I was nuts. He's been retired for a number of years. And the one time he really got a little upset with me is I had just returned from China, I think the day before, but the theater school students were doing a last production, and it was, Luigi, it was one of their epic ones. And did we ever do War and Peace? It was something epic.
Yes, we
like
did.
That.
We did War and Peace, yeah.
Yeah, well, it was 3.5 hours long, and I went to sit through it the day after, or the night after I'd gotten back from China. And he says, "You're crazy. Like, how are you stay awake?" I said, well, somehow that's not a problem when you're watching talented students and enjoying appreciating that talent. So I always garnered great energy from anything I participated at the college, whether it was theater or dance or student awards or student competitions, industry events, fundraising events like our food court social. Lorraine has probably the longest list of events, from marriage of food and wine to room for dessert to President's Breakfast. Bob and I still have fond memories of some of those planning events, now GB Connects. And the list just goes on and on. So, but what always hits me, and I don't know the 10 people or the 10 names you've mentioned, how many years of service they add up to, but I know it's a lot. And that always really hits me when we think about retirement celebrations. I think of the experience, the knowledge, the commitment, the years and years and years collectively gathered that is leaving the college. So it's really a big loss. And I wish more than most people that we could see each other in person, but I know we can't, but we will be able to one day soon. I'm also confident. Hope springs eternal. But most of all, I'd just like to say thank you to the Retirees Association for doing what you're doing, and congratulations to all the retirees and thank you for your years of service and commitment to the college. Thanks.
Thank you, Anne. And I'm so delighted that we are able to be here, for you to be here with us and to say a farewell to you and the rest of the retirees, of course. Georgia, I invite you to
why don't we, since Anne is able to be with us a little longer, why don't we go to some of the other speakers? I think JP has a time constraint and others may as well.
Okay, sure. And are you going to be with us for a little bit?
Anne said she was.
She was. Okay, perfect. Thank you. And Lorraine has put in the chat a note that she needs the link. Could somebody send Lorraine
She's
the link?
here now.
She's here. I was going to say, I sent her the link, I think. Lorraine, you got it?
Yeah, Lorraine, when you were calling me on Teams, I was in the middle of my comments, so I couldn't deal with it. But glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you very much for doing that. So I'd like to invite Cindy Govidia, who's the president, as you know, of the George Brown Foundation. And Cindy has been an incredible support to our Retiree Association. We have used her boardroom when we had nowhere to meet. We've used her telephone for our board meetings. She's assisted us with setting up a bursary, which we have done to support students. She's helped us with financial support in terms of auditing our financials. So it's a member of her team that does that. And she's also been helped us with donations as well. And just being there, giving us guidance around how do you do fundraising and how do you reach out to people. So Cindy has been a great supporter. So I'll give the floor to you, Cindy.
Thank you, Diane. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I was having some tech problems earlier. Well, firstly, I think you're too generous with your comments. It's my way of paying it forward to all of you who have given me career and personal advice while you were at the college I've been at the college for about 14 years now. And I've connected with many of you who have given me such sound advice, both on a professional and personal level. And for that, I extend my personal thank you. I want to also extend a warm welcome to all of the new members that have joined the Retirees Club, our association. This is aspirational for me. So this is like, it's my number one priority list is to make it to the team. And I want to salute those of you who have worked tirelessly for this association over the last several years. In these strange times, we need to keep our friends close, right? And indeed, I can think of few organizations as close to our foundation as the George Brown College Retirees Association. And that the association's membership has retained its allegiance to us is beyond a shadow of doubt. Over the years, the association has maintained its commitment, your commitment and connection to both the college's students as well as the institution itself. As a matter of fact, your generosity to our students has resulted in over $20,000 in scholarships and awards. And for that, I thank you. The fact that this figure includes donations made over the course of the last year, which is the pandemic, with all of this economic uncertainty, is a further testament to your commitment to supporting our community. Friends are there for you when the going gets tough, and we do not abandon our friends at the foundation. And similarly, I can't fail to recognize them. And it's with this in mind that on behalf of our board and our foundation, I extend my sincerest gratitude for your unwavering support for our students, for me personally, as well as for the institution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cindy. I appreciate that. This is our first, what I hope will be annual gathering, and it's a joint effort between the college, our association, and the unions. And they have been the unions have been incredibly supportive to us. So I do invite JP Hornick, who is the chief steward of the faculty union. Now, the faculty union has been very supportive to us in terms of donations. They've given us several baskets that we've auctioned off or raffled off. And they've also been willing to support us through communication with their members. So we are very much indebted to their support. So I'll over to you, JP.
Thanks, Denise. First, I just want to begin by acknowledging the land that we're on and the Indigenous peoples of all the lands that we're on today. Even though we're meeting on a virtual platform. For me personally, I'm coming here as a settler on the sovereign territory of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Anishinaabe peoples, the Wendat and the Mississauga, the Credit River First Nation, and am working in my day-to-day life to try and uphold and strive to uphold and be accountable to the protocols of the Dish with One Spoon Wampum, or the Dish with One Spoon Treaty, the Two-Row Wampum, Treaty 13, and the Williams Treaty. So I just wanted to make sure I got that in there too, as I think it's important to acknowledge on an ongoing and living basis. And also, wow, talk about an aspirational club. This is perhaps the best association at George Brown. If nothing else, then for its amazing anti-aging properties that begin immediately upon leaving the college. Holy cow. So enough for my prepared remarks. Seriously, what a wonderful, wonderful way to see everyone here today. Those of you who retired as faculty, those of you who have been faculty, the contributions you have made not only to the college, but to the local and to your colleagues and comrades are absolutely beyond measure. And I could list probably for each and every one of you a host of things. And then, you know, even for Bob, I mean, you know, Cal, the GBCQ days and things like that. This is a group of people that have made a substantive change, positive change at the college. And I think have made our community richer, stronger. It's not just the students that you support, but it's each other. And so I think that we have built together a much better system. And I certainly have learned extensively from either watching or directly from your leadership and mentorship, and for which you have my eternal gratitude. I'd also want to say that I would encourage you to stay in touch with the local. We're always happy to hear from you, to work through any issues that are coming up for you as retirees, but to also to connect and not to lose touch with that living history that you bring with you, the knowledge that you hold inside you that we lose the minute that you walk out the door usually. And so please, like, never hesitate to drop by should the college ever reopen the union office, but to call, to email, to come to the website, because we miss you. Right. And it's the staying connected is really important. And gosh knows my countdown clock gets closer every year to joining this association. So, and Tom's too, believe it or not. So thank you for having me here today, but also thank you for all that you've given and will continue to give. And I hope that your next adventures bring you nothing but joy and peace as we go on. So thank you.
Thank you so much, JP. And JP is actually at a conference right now, so she very kindly stepped out of that to join us, and we really appreciate that. I'd like to invite Megan Carter, who is the president of the Support Staff Union. And Megan, as a fairly new president, she very kindly gave up her valuable time to meet with us, and while we gave her some background on the Retiree Association. And they've also made donations in terms of baskets and things that we've used to do our fundraising. So we're very much indebted to the support union. And Megan is very committed to helping us communicate our existence and what we have to offer out to her membership. And we appreciate that. So Megan, I'll pass it over to you.
And thanks for inviting me. Also want to give acknowledgement. I live in Whitby, Oshawa. So Whitby, Oshawa once was the home of Iroquois who are identified as the ancestral Wendat people. They're also known as the Huron. They were there from 1350 to 1450. So just wanted to give a land acknowledgement to all Indigenous peoples in the area. Thank you so much. My pronouns is she, her. Megan Carter, the local president for the support staff. I actually have been the local president for, sorry, I'm outside. Sadly, I just came from my grandfather's funeral. So, you know, it just actually is a good time to talk to all of you and to our retirees and the support staff about how important it is to retire and take that time with your family and your friends. My grandfather retired for 36 years, right? So it's so important to take your retirement, enjoy it with your time, your family and your friends, and get outside and step away from the emails and all of that, which our support staff and all the staff are dedicated to the college. But yeah, I've actually been president for 4 years going on now, so it's been a little bit of time, and I know some of you here. I actually worked in the college for like 12 years, so you might have saw me when I was a student worker, or you know, I've been in the college for a long time, so I know some of you here, and I'm really, you know, supportive of all of the support staff and everything you've done for the college. We appreciate you coming to our union meetings or supporting us even by sharing an email. You know, our engagement at George Brown is one to you know, no one can compare to. And you know, that's because of our support staff and our, you know, hundreds and thousands of members we now have in our local. Is due to, you know, everybody here, right? Our George Brown support staff local is in the thousands of memberships, and that's because of everything everyone has done to contribute to our engagement of our members and keeping them informed. So I appreciate all the retirees and all our support staff that are retiring. I wish you nothing but time without your emails, without your cell phones, and just spending time with your family and friends and doing the activities that you love. And I wish you all the best, and we appreciate everything you have done while you've been here. So thank you.
Megan, thank you so much for being here, and my condolences to you and your family for your loss. And I appreciate you putting time aside in spite of that. And I wish you have a good day today. So I'd like to invite Leslie Quinlan. She's the VP HR, Public Safety and Security. I'm sure public safety and security is rising to the top for you, Leslie, for sure. I did want to acknowledge that Leslie is our liaison. So that's who we connect with our long laundry list of asks. She very graciously meets us with us at least once a year, if not more often than that. And it's her budget where the money comes out of. So we're very appreciative of that as well. And she's always been very receptive to looking at ways of connecting better and differently with the association. So thank you, Leslie, for being here.
Thanks so much for having me. It's great to see everyone. And I just want to add my congratulations to all the new retirees who are joining the Retiree Association, and add my thanks to the Retiree Association for all the hard work that you do to help keep people connected and engaged and contributing to the college community, even after your retirement. I'm proud to be able to support and participate in some of the things that the Retiree Association is getting engaged in or they need support on. I have to thank Sylvia Rossi, who works with me on my team. She's amazing, and I know she's always there. I see Bob giving the thumbs up to Sylvia. She's always there to help with anything that the Retiree Association needs, including some mailing she's doing right now for everyone. I think she's had a meeting with Bob, or is planning one to pick up those packages we're going to send out. So I'm really happy to be able to work with the group. It's such an enthusiastic an engaged group of people. When I see your list of activities and the things that you're offering to your members, I wish I could be a member too. Some of them look truly amazing, and there's so much variety and so much volume. You have a lot going on for the association. I think it's really, really important for people. It's a big change to leave the working world, as you'll all have known, having experienced that and going into retirement. And it's important to have a plan on how you're going to do that. And I think, you know, even if you don't have a plan, the Retiree Association should become part of your plan, because it's such a great way to bridge that change and that transition into, you know, the next phase of what you're going to be doing, along with all the other things you love. Still being connected to the community at George Brown, I think, helps with that. So I look forward to Anne being your another new member, and I'm sure that it'll help with her transition to retirement as well. I look forward to continuing to support the Retiree Association and working with you. And I just really want to thank you as well for your support and contributions that continue for the George Brown community, our students and our employees. I think it makes a big difference to have a home to go to when you leave your day-to-day working home with George Brown College. So you just moved to the next part of George Brown College, the Retiree Association. So thank you very much for all your work. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Leslie. I really appreciate that. And I would like to echo Leslie's comments about Sylvia. She has been incredibly supportive to us. And Leslie mentioned packages. We did send out, or will be sending out, some of you that were added to the list a little bit later will get your package. So a small gift on behalf of the association. And it actually was a journal. Sorry, I ruined the surprise for some of you, designed by the design students at George Brown. So just a little reminder, of course, with our contact information in it as well, just in case you're enjoying retirement so much that you forget that we're out there. So thank you to Sylvia. She's been extraordinarily helpful. And as you know, people are not in the college on a regular basis. So a lot of this is done on her own personal time. And she was very helpful in trying to get connections for us when all the emails went down. So thank you to Sylvia and to Leslie for all of their support. So I'd like to invite Lorraine Trotter. She's the Dean for the Center of Hospitality and Culinary Arts. And Lorraine has been a wonderful supporter and mentor to the association. We have talked to her about numerous things in the past, and she has shared her wisdom. She's also been incredibly helpful in terms of donations from her hospitality program. And we all know how nice those donations always are. And she's been assisted us in some of our events where we had a lovely lunch at the chef house and a pastry display where the students walked us through pastries in the south of France. So that was always well received by the retirees. And so we thank Lorraine and we invite her to the floor as well. Lorraine, I think you're muted.
About now?
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of a construction zone here at my home, so I apologize if you can't hear me and if the camera bounces up and down. I'll be very short and sweet. Following all those eloquent speakers is intimidating, but I did want to congratulate those who are retiring this year and share a little limerick that I wrote dedicated in your honor. So here goes. There once were some colleagues we treasure. Your contributions beyond any measure. We're sad at the college, we're losing your knowledge, but we know to retire's a pleasure. So congratulations. Your friends will miss you, but we will stay in touch and enjoy your new life, your new freedom, and your new ability to turn texts and emails off and not worry about it. So take care. See you soon, I hope.
Thank you so much, Lorraine. And you have many talents, but we also didn't know that you're a poet at the same time. So We really appreciate that creativity side of you. So thank you. I'd also like to invite Luigi Ferreira, who's the Dean of the Center of Arts, Design, and Information Technology. We have met with Luigi many times over the last couple of years, and he has always been incredibly available and gracious to us. We've done many activities with the theater school, and many of our retirees have gone to see many of the plays at the theater as well. And we've been working on some fundraising activities as well. And Luigi is always willing to open and willing and creative, and has always been so supportive to us. So Luigi, thank you for being here, and the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Diane. And actually, thank you, because it was you who saved my life in India when I got terribly, terribly ill. And I'll never forget that. And it's just so wonderful to see you all. I have to say, Cal, that mullet really rocks it. Like, I think it's like the best. And all of you are truly looking exceptional. I agree with JP that retirement must be like the fountain of youth. I also want to thank Georgia, because she, with funds that she had gathered, she enabled the college to buy some paintings by Shuvana Ashuna, which I just want to say are now worth so much more. I wish I would have bought one myself when we bought them, because she's become the most important Inuit artist in Canada. And so thanks, Georgia. But it's a pleasure to be here with all of you today, and to congratulate the people who are retiring, and also to the people who have retired and stayed together in a community, because George Brown is really a great community. And I'm hoping this year we, at the Institute Without Boundaries, we studied aging in place, working with our Center for Health Sciences and Community Services. And the students really did an amazing job at understanding aging. During that period, they reached out a bit to some of the seniors that were in the GBC seniors group. I never thought, because I always think of you as so young, for them to reach out to you, but we are applying for a grant to do a special project, especially related to recovery and reducing social isolation after COVID. And so know that I'm going to reach out to you, Bob, Diane, Georgia, because we're hoping that maybe the GBC Retirees group might be the perfect user group to participate in that kind of project and research. And it's kind of a very cool idea about sharing knowledge for younger generations, and connecting and actually bringing people's hidden skills that they're doing in retirement out to the forefront, which I'm sure many of you have amazing skills. And that's one of the things that the students learned, that there's so much knowledge and wisdom in our population as we age. I feel sometimes I'm getting wiser sometimes. And I'm hoping that maybe this project is another way for us to continue the collaboration that we've been collaborating on over the years. So looking forward to continuing to work with you, and one day being part of your group.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Luigi, as always. And we'd be happy to work with you. Over the past year, we did some work with the nursing students. And because the year one students couldn't go into clinical, they were doing a communication module, and many of the retirees did step up and say, I will be interviewed. And I know the students absolutely loved it. So I do agree. There's lots of opportunities as retirees to reconnect with students. And I think that for retirees, that's probably the biggest loss, is losing our colleagues, but also that contact with students that keep us young, or feeling young anyways. But thank you, Luigi, very much. I did acknowledge at the beginning, and I'll just repeat it, that thank you to the senior managers who are here, because I know that George Brown is dealing with some very chaotic issues, and I really appreciate you taking your time to be with us and support us as well. So thank you. Georgia, I'm going to invite Georgia to say a special farewell to Anne on behalf of all of us, all of our retirees and the new retirees as well. So Georgia, over to you.
Great, thank you. So while we might be very quick and thank everyone for joining us, our speakers and those who are joining us as guests or non-speakers for this event, those who are retiring now, as well as those who have retired previously. I'm always delighted to see everyone, and you are obviously delighted to see one another at the very beginning as we had a few minutes to chat. We look forward to seeing you online, and we look forward to seeing you in person in the months ahead. Please keep checking the newsletters for upcoming events as we get planned, and let us know how you're doing, because we're always interested in incorporating those events that you may be aware of into the material that we send out to our members. So happy retirement and congratulations. And again, thank you all for all the work that you did for the college and that we continue to do to support students.